Tonight, it's do or die. The stakes? Everything. The Golden State Warriors, those battle-tested champions we've come to know and admire, are back under the bright lights, facing a new kind of pressure. This time, it's not about defending a title or chasing a record. It's about survival. About proving that their dynasty still breathes. They'll be going head-to-head with the Memphis Grizzlies in a high-stakes play-in showdown. And if you thought this story would follow a familiar script, think again. Because nothing about this Warriors season has been predictable. And this next chapter? It could be their most dramatic yet. The night started lightheartedly enough, with some playful banter on the inside the NBA set. One of the crew showed up in a bold blue outfit, apparently hand-picked by his mother, and the jokes practically wrote themselves. There were laughs, a few jabs, and a bit of comic relief before the conversation took a serious turn. Because tonight's game isn't just another entry in the schedule. It's a must-win moment that could shape the immediate future of one of the NBA's most iconic franchises. Had the Warriors beaten the Clippers just a few nights ago, none of this would be necessary. They would have secured the 6th seed and avoided this play-in scenario entirely. But that 118-112 loss to Los Angeles was more than a missed opportunity, it was a punch to the gut. The kind of defeat that hangs heavy over a veteran locker room. Steph Curry finished that game with 21 points on just 6 for 17 shooting, along with 6 assists and 5 turnovers. Not bad. But not enough. Not for a team that needs him to be superhuman more nights than not. Now, because of that one game, Golden State finds itself walking a tightrope. One wrong step, and it's over. This team isn't getting younger. Draymond Green's fire still burns, but his body has been through wars. Klay Thompson, once the smoothest shooter in the league, has been up and down all year. And Steph, still magical, still capable of breathtaking brilliance, has been anything but consistent lately. The pressure is mounting. The margin for error? Practically non-existent. But there's a new face in the locker room. A new voice. A new kind of energy. Jimmy Butler. And make no mistake, his arrival could be the difference between heartbreak and hope. Jimmy doesn't just play basketball, he embodies the word clutch. Against the Clippers, he put up 24 points, grabbed 8 rebounds, and snatched 3 steals. He wasn't just filling a stat sheet. He was making winning plays. Making his presence felt. That's what he does. Always has. Always will. His presence takes pressure off of Steph. No longer can defenses simply collapse on the 2-time MVP, forcing him into impossible shots and turnovers. Jimmy draws defenders like a magnet and forces opposing coaches to rethink their entire game plan. With Butler on the floor, Golden State becomes more dangerous, more unpredictable, and infinitely more balanced. The panel on Inside the NBA made it clear, they favor the Warriors tonight. Not just because of the names on the back of the jerseys, but because of what those names represent: experience, grit, stability. Steve Kerr on the sidelines. Jimmy in the trenches. Steph ready to ignite. They've been here before. Memphis, on the other hand, is still trying to find its identity without Ja Morant. Without their leader, their floor general, the Grizzlies have been forced to rely on youth and effort. That can carry you far, but can it carry you past the Warriors? Jaren Jackson Jr. has the tools. He's long, athletic, and skilled. But lately, he's been playing small. Settling for threes instead of imposing his will inside. Against the Lakers last week, he shot just 3 for 11 from deep and scored only 15 points. It's not enough, not when the other team is full of champions and killers. Not when the lights are this bright. And then there's the enigma that is Zach Edey. At 7 feet 4 inches, he's an absolute tower. But the Warriors don't play by conventional rules. They'll go small. They'll go fast. Draymond at center. Jimmy at the 4. Wiggins sprinting down the lane. If Edey can't keep up, and there's a real chance he won't, Memphis could find itself chasing shadows all night long. Andrew Wiggins, by the way, has been quietly surging at just the right time. Over the last 5 games, he's averaged 17.2 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 2.1 blocks. He's flying around on defense, slashing to the rim, hitting timely shots. He's starting to look like the Wiggins we saw in 2022, when he was the X-factor in a championship run no one saw coming. Kevin Looney remains the glue. The guy who never makes headlines but always makes a difference. He pulled down 10 rebounds against the Clippers, 5 of them on the offensive glass. He doesn't care about glory. He cares about keeping possessions alive, making the smart play, and doing the dirty work. Memphis has Desmond Bane, a spark plug with a flamethrower jumper. He dropped 29 points in their recent win over the Spurs, knocking down 5 of 8 from beyond the arc. If he gets going, he could swing the momentum. But tonight's not just about talent. It's about poise. Bane's never played in a game like this. The Warriors? They've played in dozens. And don't overlook the chess match between coaches. Steve Kerr doesn't just bring rings to the table, he brings the calm of a man who's been through it all. He's coached teams to titles, led Olympic squads to gold, and navigated the toughest playoff series in NBA history. He knows how to make adjustments, how to read a game in real time, how to get the most out of his stars. Taylor Jenkins is a smart young coach, no doubt. But tonight, he's up against a master. There's been a lot of talk lately about consistency, about what makes a player elite. Since February 21st, only 2 players have scored at least 20 points in every single game, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Nikola Jokic. That's elite company. Steph hasn't been quite that steady. But don't mistake inconsistency for weakness. He may not have scored 20 every night, but he's got the ability to drop 40 at any moment. If he gets hot, the game changes instantly. The air in the arena changes. Every fan leans forward in their seat. Every defender tightens up. And maybe that's what tonight is all about, the unknown. The potential. The quiet feeling that something unforgettable is about to happen. Because this core, Steph, Klay, Draymond, has been through it all. They've heard the whispers. That it's over. That they're too old. That the league has passed them by. Tonight, they get to answer those whispers. And as the panel laughed one final time at a viewer's hilariously uninformed tweet about the play-in rules, something along the lines of "first team to 100 wins the series," you could feel the tension starting to lift. Just for a moment. Because laughter always finds a way into sports. Even in the most intense moments. But that laughter? It's over now. The lights are dimming. The Chase Center is starting to pulse. Fans are on their feet. The Warriors are walking out of the tunnel, together, maybe for the last time. Steph. Klay. Draymond. Jimmy. They know what's at stake. And they're not ready to say goodbye. Not yet. Whatever happens tonight, it's more than a game. It's a reminder of everything this team has given us. Of how greatness doesn't fade, it fights. And even if the end is near, they're going to make damn sure it doesn't come quietly. Golden State. Memphis. Let the battle begin. And here's the key takeaway from the channel: delve into financial education to enhance your quality of life. Within the financial market, explore bonds and shares, particularly focusing on real estate investment trusts, which offer the potential for passive income. Engage with this responsibly and consider reputable investment brokerages worldwide.